Let me ask you something. When was the last time your insurance premium went up? And nobody could give you a straight answer why. No accident, no tickets, no claims filed. Nothing changed on your end. But somehow, that bill kept climbing. $30 more here, $60 more there. Until one day, you're paying nearly double what you were 5 years ago for the exact same coverage. You called the insurance company. They gave you the usual speech about market adjustments and regional risk factors, corporate language designed to confuse you and end the conversation. But here's what they didn't tell you. Your car already told them everything they needed to know. Every morning, you backed out of your driveway. Every time you pushed the throttle a little harder to beat the light. Every corner, every hard stop, every mile, your vehicle recorded it, packaged it, and quietly sent it off while you were just trying to get to work. Today, we're going to talk about what smart drivers are now doing about it, and why more and more people are making the decision to permanently silence that modem sitting inside their vehicle. Stay with me until the end, because the last section of this video may change how you think about the car sitting in your driveway right now. Most drivers think of their vehicle as transportation, point A to point B, a tool they own, maintain, and control. But somewhere between 2015 and today, that changed without anyone sending you a memo. Modern vehicles are no longer just machines. They are mobile data collection platforms wrapped in sheet metal and sold to you at a dealership with a handshake and a smile. Here's what's actually running inside your vehicle right now. There is a device called a telematics control unit. Most people have never heard of it. The automakers certainly don't advertise it, but it is sitting inside your vehicle at this very moment, equipped with its own dedicated SIM card, its own cellular connection, running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether the engine is on or not. This unit records your GPS coordinates in real time. It tracks every mile you drive. It measures how hard you accelerate, how suddenly you brake, how aggressively you corner. It knows what time you leave the house every morning and what time you come home every night. And then, quietly, it transmits all of that back to the manufacturer's servers. The Mozilla Foundation, one of the most respected digital privacy organizations in the world, reviewed 25 major vehicle brands. Their conclusion was direct and alarming. Cars are now officially the worst product category for consumer privacy they have ever reviewed. Worse than your smartphone. Worse than the smart speaker sitting on your kitchen counter. Because your car knows things about your daily life that even your phone doesn't always capture. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is documented, published, confirmed fact. The question is, what happens to that data once it leaves your vehicle? This is the part that should make every driver angry. In 2024, the New York Times published an investigation that exposed exactly what General Motors, Honda, and other major automakers were doing with the driving data collected from their customers. They were selling it directly to data brokers. Companies like LexisNexis and Verisk, firms that exist specifically to build detailed behavioral profiles on individuals. And those profiles were being sold directly to insurance companies. Think about what that means in practice. You never signed up for a usage-based insurance program. You never agreed to let anyone monitor your driving. You bought a vehicle, you paid for it, you drive it. But behind the scenes, a quiet transaction was happening every single month. Your behavior was the product, and the insurance company was the customer. Drivers across the country began receiving premium increases they couldn't explain, until journalists started connecting the dots. The data collected by the vehicle's telematics system was being used to justify rate increases on drivers who had never filed a single claim. And it gets worse. In early 2025, a massive cybersecurity breach involving Volkswagen's servers exposed the precise location data of over 800,000 vehicles. GPS coordinates accurate enough to show exactly where a car was parked, at what time, and for how long. That data had been sitting in the cloud, exposed, accessible. When you own a modern connected vehicle, your personal information lives on someone else's server. And that server has already proven it can be compromised. So, what are smart drivers doing about it? They're going directly to the source of the problem and cutting the power. Inside, every vehicle is a fuse box. In most cases, you will find it either underneath the driver's side dashboard or in the engine bay near the battery. Inside that fuse box is a fuse dedicated to the telematics control unit. On General Motors vehicles, it's often labeled OnStar. On other vehicles, it may appear as TCU or DCM. Pull that fuse and the modem goes completely dark. No signal, no transmission, no data leaving your vehicle. The physics are simple. No electricity means no operation. The manufacturer's server stops receiving updates. Your GPS location disappears from their system. Your driving behavior data stops being recorded and transmitted. Effectively, your vehicle becomes invisible to the people who were profiting from watching it. And here's what makes this method particularly intelligent. It is completely reversible. No wires are cut, no permanent modifications are made. If you ever need dealership service, you slide the fuse back in, drive in, and slide it back out when you leave. Clean. No evidence, no argument. But here's where we have to be completely honest with you, because this channel doesn't deal in half-truths. Pulling that fuse is not without consequences on certain vehicles. Modern vehicles operate on what's called a CAN bus network. Every module inside the vehicle communicates with every other module constantly. The engine control unit, the braking system, the airbag controller, and yes, the telematics module. They are in a constant digital conversation. When you remove the telematics module from that conversation, the other modules notice. On some vehicles, especially late-model European brands and heavily integrated American platforms, this can trigger a check engine light. On rare occasions, particularly in vehicles where the TCU is deeply embedded in the software architecture, it may affect infotainment functions or generate persistent fault codes. You also need to acknowledge something else. That modem is also the pathway for emergency assistance systems. If you are involved in a serious accident on a remote road, some of those systems rely on the cellular modem to automatically contact emergency services. Disabling the modem means accepting that responsibility yourself. For drivers who have done their research, accepted those trade-offs, and made a clear decision, pulling the fuse remains the most complete and effective solution available. But for those who want protection without touching the electrical system, there are additional steps worth taking. Not every driver is ready to go under the dashboard, and that's a legitimate position. Here are 3 moves you can make immediately that will significantly reduce what gets collected and shared without pulling a single fuse. First, go into your vehicle's connected services portal and opt out of everything. Every major automaker, under pressure from consumer privacy legislation, now provides an online portal where you can manage your data sharing preferences. The challenge is that they don't make it easy or obvious. They bury the options. They use language designed to confuse you. They will never ask, "Can we sell your driving data?" Instead, they ask, "Would you like to receive personalized rate recommendations from our insurance partners?" That is the same question dressed in a different suit. The answer to both is no. Look specifically for options labeled usage-based insurance, data sharing for research, personalized services, and third-party partner sharing. Disable every single one of them. Second, delete the manufacturer app from your phone. According to investigative reporting from The Record in 2025, many automaker smartphone apps request access to your contacts, your microphone, your location data, and your message history, permissions that go far beyond what remote start or fuel level monitoring could ever require. Every app you keep installed is a pipeline feeding your personal behavior back to a corporate server. If the feature it provides isn't genuinely essential to your daily life, remove it. Today. Third, at your next dealership visit, request a data opt-out in writing. When the service advisor hands you paperwork before they touch your vehicle, take 2 minutes to find the data sharing section. Write clearly that you do not consent to third-party data sharing. Under current consumer privacy regulations, they are required to honor that request. If any employee tells you that data sharing is mandatory to maintain your warranty, ask them to show you where that requirement appears in the manufacturer's official owner's manual. They won't be able to, because it doesn't exist. Now here's something the automotive industry will never advertise. There is an entire category of vehicles on the road right now that are effectively immune to this problem. Not because of any modification, not because of any technical workaround, but because of a decision made by the telecommunications industry that nobody in the automotive world wants to discuss. Vehicles built between roughly 2009 and 2018 were equipped with telematics modems that operated on 2G and 3G cellular networks, and between 2022 and 2024, Major carriers across North America permanently shut down those networks to free up bandwidth for 5G infrastructure. That shutdown made millions of built-in vehicle modems completely obsolete overnight. The hardware is still there, still drawing a small amount of power, but it has no network to connect to. It cannot transmit data. It cannot reach the manufacturer's servers. Your GPS location, your driving behavior, your hard braking events, all of it simply accumulates in temporary memory and disappears the moment you turn off the ignition. These vehicles also tend to be simpler in the ways that matter most. Less software dependency means fewer failure points. A mechanical relay that costs $8 can outlast a $2,800 touchscreen control module that dies from a software conflict. According to J.D. Power's vehicle dependability data, infotainment-heavy vehicles consistently rank higher in problem frequency than vehicles with more traditional, straightforward electrical systems. In a vehicle from that era, you still have fuel injection, you still have ABS brakes, airbags, and modern safety equipment. But you don't have a corporate surveillance system running silently in the background, reporting your movements to people who profit from knowing them. Those were the last generation of vehicles built to serve their owners first. Here's the simple truth that every driver watching this needs to sit with. When you spend $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 on a vehicle, that vehicle should work for you. It should answer to you. The moment it starts quietly reporting your behavior to a corporation that uses that information to raise your costs, it is no longer fully yours. It has become a tool working against the person paying for it. Smart drivers understand this. That's why they are pulling fuses. That's why they are opting out of every data sharing agreement they can find. That's why the used market for pre-2018 vehicles with clean mechanical histories continues to hold strong demand among people who know what they're looking for. You now know what they know. What you do with that information is your decision. But it should be a decision you make clearly, with your eyes open, not one that gets made for you by a data broker. You've never heard of selling your habits to an insurance company that never asked your permission. If this video gave you something worth thinking about, subscribe to the channel, because this is exactly the kind of information we are here to find and put in front of the people who need it most. Drive smart, stay private,